What if I told you that you are prompting wrong? And worse than that, not only are you prompting wrong, you're also learning how to prompt in the wrong ways. What if I told you to scrap the entire thing? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to tell you in today's video. I'm going to show you why the traditional prompt engineering classes and all that stuff like that, everything you've learned about prompting is completely wrong, and how you really should be prompting and how you should really learn how to prompt. So if you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you're subscribed, thank you so much. If you are not yet already, please do so. It is free for this video only. Next video, I'm going to charge. I'm just kidding. Let me show you why your prompting and your prompt engineering is completely wrong. So if I was going to go back and learn prompt engineering again, I would do it completely different. I actually spent money, I spent time watching YouTube videos, different webinars and things like that to learn how to do prompt engineering. I read prompt engineering books. I read all that because I really thought that was the best way to learn prompt engineering. I'm telling you that it's not. It's decidedly not. The best teacher of prompt engineering is actually conversational AI tools like Gemini, like Claude, like ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you how I would have learned how to do prompt engineering if I could go back in time and do it all over again. To get started, I would simply point to ChatGPT saying, I'm new to using it. What are 5 prompt templates I can use to get started? And then ChatGPT would respond and give me 5 different templates to get started. And I would then take these different tools, different templates, and I would, use these and iterate with them, refine them that works best for my context and things like that. That way I would learn how to do effective prompt engineering. This is how I would go about doing that. But maybe you're like me, you're not new to ChatGPT, not new to using these tools, but every once in a while, there's these times that happen where I know what I want it to say. I know what I'm trying to say, kind of, sort of, but I just cannot get the right words in the paper, can't get the right words into the screen in order to have the effective prompt. I'm already getting that writer's block there. And so what I'll do for that is simply say, provide a context. I know I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to have some kind of outcome I want it to do. That's what we learned the last prompt examples that we saw there before. And so we're going to say here is just basically saying, give me 5 prompts I can ask you to help me with this initiative that I gave it. That's being a city manager is trying to develop mid-level managers in our organization. So it's going to give me 5 different prompts that I can use for this program, this initiative that I have, ways to unlock ChatGPT in a deeper manner here. Well, we can actually take this a step further because, okay, well, I have these 5 different prompts. But if you're like me, okay, a one-time prompt is helpful, but I really want to understand what makes these prompts useful. Why are these prompts useful? What can I learn that I can then apply to my prompt structure? That way, when I'm using prompts in other domains, other areas of my life that I'm doing ChatGPT with, whether it be the YouTube channel, whether it be different personal projects I'm working on, whether it be writing something, what are the different things I can do with these different prompts? What can I learn from these different prompts in whole that I can apply to other prompts I'm doing within ChatGPT or other generative AI tools? Basically, what I've done is saying, I'm trying to learn prompt engineering, what makes these prompts effective once you learn about prompting from them. And I took all 5 of these prompts and pasted them into ChatGPT, into this prompt here. What I want you to learn here, I want you to see here is how many of these different things that it's going to list, how many of these apply to human conversation as well. There's a reason why we call it conversational AI. It's because it's mimicking human conversation. So the number one thing you need to do if you want to get better at learning how to prompt is get better at communicating. The more you improve your communication skills, that will directly improve your prompting skills as well. It's a direct correlation. I firmly believe that's direct correlation. So let's see how many of these things apply to both prompting, which it says it does. So how many of these also apply to just human-to-human conversation and communication skills? First one is specificity. Yep, be specific. That's a communication 101. Next is action-oriented language. So instead of saying yes, no questions, we should say stuff like how can we or what strategies can we implement? That's also a very effective tool for team communication or things like that. Instead of asking instead of asking a closed-ended question, ask an open-ended question. Have an action-oriented question. Layer depth. They go beyond surface-level inquiries by addressing multiple dimensions. So incorporate layers into your prompt to guide responses towards a thorough analysis. The next is clarity and structure, right? You structured sentences that are easy to follow while maintaining a professional tone. Focus on outcomes. Connect the question to an intended result or end goal for more focused responses. The same thing applies in communication with our team members, with our colleagues, with their spouses, whatever it is. The same thing applies there. Inclusion of context. Offer sufficient background or context for the AI to understand the scope and purpose of the query. That's a really important thing. You're not going to just walk up to a random stranger and just say, hey, tell me about leadership. That's going to be a kind of a weird conversation. There's some context that needs to happen beyond that. Maybe you are at a leadership webinar and someone's speaking on leadership and you go to the person and say, hey, tell me about leadership. But even then, it's much better to say, hey, what are some leadership strategies that I can implement in my organization to develop XYZ, mid-level managers? It's be a much better conversation starter where they're talking to that leadership expert after that conference you just had. But the same thing also applies here to ChatGPT as well. So some key takeaways. Again, these are all specific both to prompt engineering as it is to communication. So be specific, frame with intention, add layers for depth, consider audience and tone, and iterate and refine. So I'm going to show you one more thing here that I think is really interesting that we can do with prompt engineering and learning how to prompt engineer. We're learning how to be more effective with our prompts. Because again, ChatGPT is the best trainer on how to do prompt engineering. And again, I'm using ChatGPT as a euphemism for all conversational AI, kind of like Kleenexes for nasal tissue or things like that. But the same thing applies to Claude, to Gemini, things like that. The same idea applies to them as well. So here I have a prompt, and it's a very poorly worded prompt. All I'm doing is basically saying, explain how AI can improve municipal workflows in simple terms, right? Very open-ended, yeah, but it's just not a very good structured prompt. I know that. Because of that, I didn't get the results I needed because I just could not think of what I wanted it to say. I was running that writer's block that we get all the time. So what I did next is I said, okay, give me 5 actionable ways for me to improve this prompt, put the prompt underneath that. So then ChatGPT thought about it and gave me some 5 specific things that I could do to improve that prompt. I could always sit there and try to figure out what the perfect prompt would be based on what I've learned. I could do that. Yes, it'd probably be better for me if I did that. But let's face it, I got stuff to do. I got these videos to make. And so I don't have time for that kind of thing. So instead, what I said is, okay, rewrite my prompt based on what you just taught me. And it did. So we rewrote the prompt for me. And then I took that, put that into ChatGPT, and now I have exactly what I'm looking for. The key takeaway is this. Conversational AI is the best teacher of how to use conversational AI. It's designed to think like a human. It's designed to respond like a human. So why not ask it to do it? The same reason why we go to communication experts, other humans, to teach us how to do communication, the same thing applies here as well. Ask ChatGPT, ask Claude, ask Gemini, ask your favorite conversational AI tool, hey, how do I prompt? What are some prompt engineering techniques I should use? It's going to be the absolute best way to learn it, and it'd be way better for you than spending money on a Udemy or Coursera or any of those, multi-$100 certified prompt engineer courses that are out there. Just complete waste of time and complete waste of money. All you need is a ChatGPT subscription or something like that. That's going to teach you how to do prompt engineering. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a lot of fun to make. It's been a lot of fun to dive into prompt engineering and hopefully save you some valuable time and money that you can now spend with your family, with your friends, with things like that, because you are no longer having to spend any of that on prompt engineering courses. Our next video coming out is actually going to be 10 lies about AI. So if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. That way you get notified right away when that video drops. It's going to be an awesome video. Can't wait to produce that for you and put that out there. So until next time, until then, be well.